How to quickly hydrate your skin overnight. You should be seeing a good difference in your skin the very next day. However, just keep in mind that with what I'm about to tell you and share with you is that if you do this on a daily basis, probably for about 7 days or so, you're going to see an incredible difference in your skin from the first night you started to the 7th day. Guaranteed that you are going to notice you didn't think your skin could ever feel or look this way if you do this and hydrate your skin very well. I'd say the majority of most people's skin is dehydrated due to multiple reasons in our lifetime as to why our skin would be dehydrated. And some of it's just the passing of time. It's just what happens as we've been on this planet for so many years, but it's really because of the transepidermal water loss, also known as TWEL. So this is where the skin actually does evaporate the water and the moisture in the skin. It will evaporate over time. And what will quickly, rapidly do this more often is certain lifestyle things, such as depending on your job, if you're outside a lot, maybe in the sun, if you get sunburns, I mean, you're basically cooking your skin. You're going to lose water out of your skin that way. It also could be like if you're a cook or a baker or something where you're around a lot of hot ovens, a lot of, maybe hot rooms or anything like that, boiler rooms or something. Those could definitely evaporate the water. If you're in drier climates, like heck, I'm in Arizona, it's a dry climate here. Definitely if you're in Phoenix, you're basically baking 6 months out of the year. It's ridiculous. So that's a definite thing. Drier seasons, usually fall and winter tend to be the most driest times of the year. Certain sports, are you out, in water sports? A lot of water sports, you're out in the sun a lot, but then also water itself, if you're in the water splashes on your face and everything, and as it dries, it can actually pull out water from your skin as well. There are a lot of reasons, and plus many more that I'm just thinking off the top of my head at this moment as to why your skin could be dehydrated. And we want to replenish that back. So let's start now. So the first thing you're gonna do is, if you wear makeup, you wanna remove that makeup off first before you do what's called a double cleanse. Now I know a lot of times people will say, well, the double cleanse is to make sure getting all that makeup off. But for me, I feel better. I guess that would be a triple cleanse then for me, because I just wanna make sure it is off, because I don't want my product that I'm gonna put on my skin to not be able to penetrate through my skin. You can use a makeup wipe, gently use a makeup wipe, gently use a microfiber towel, or use an oil cleanser, and that will help get the majority of the makeup off. It has an oil barrier on it, and that's why you'll want to remove it first and then cleanse well. The cleanser that I like to use, I did do a review on it and talk more about it in an earlier video, is a cream cleanser. It says that it's good for combination skin and normal skin, but I definitely would say even for dry skin type people to also use. I had someone that said that they had oily skin, that they use it and love it. So it's possible maybe for oily skin you can use it, at least maybe as your last cleanse, your third cleanse on that, to help use that. And the reason I like to use this cream cleanser, it's a little bit more on the hydrating side than you would get from a sud cleanser or something, which can actually draw out some water a little bit. Again, it's all up to you, but I would definitely, use something gentle like that cleanser, for instance. The next thing you wanna do is exfoliate your skin. Now, you're only gonna do this about once a week or so, maybe twice, depending on what your skin says and depending on the kind of exfoliation that you actually have. Do not use scrubs. Those aren't really gonna do you any good. They're very cheap. I just don't see them being that beneficial compared to other things that are on the market. Your best bet is going to be using something like an enzyme. Enzymes will help actually dissolve the very top layer of the skin cells and dissolve those keratinocytes, which are the skin cells. It will give a more evenly distributed exfoliation. This will also help bring up more of the hydration levels a bit, because what's going on is the skin cells at the very bottom of the epidermis are kind of freaking out a little bit, because it sent signals and found signals that are like, oh my gosh, we just lost almost a whole layer. We need to send skin cells up now. And that response will help generate skin cells a little bit quicker, which is good for anti-aging, by the way, and will also bring up some water content a little bit more to the skin. So you're gonna kind of notice that a little bit. The other thing too is if you wanna use AHAs as well, that might be incorporated in the product itself. Those are alpha hydroxy acids, which help to dissolve the sebum glue that are holding on those skin cells. So having those two would be great. I do have a product that does have some of the AHAs in it. It's actually one of my favorites. It's a lot of people's favorite. It's a pumpkin peel that I will put in the description. The other thing about that mask that I'm also mentioning here, the pumpkin one, it has glycolic, which is one of the best exfoliators because it is the smallest molecule size out of all the exfoliators that can help kind of go into the skin a little bit more, giving you a far better exfoliation. Read what it says on the bottle, but it's usually probably gonna have you have it on as a mask for about probably 10 minutes or so. And another thing is you wanna keep it active, and how you keep it active is keeping it wet. So I really do highly suggest that you also use a facial steamer just to help keep distributing water onto it lightly, so it's not like, you don't wanna wipe it off yet, but you wanna keep it wet and warm so that the product will do its job and keep dissolving the skin cells that we want to get rid of. Here's where the other part that's going to be really important for you to do. You're going to want to get some kind of hydrating serum. This might seem a little backwards if you've ever noticed how a skin care regimen is put down. Here's how we're going to kind of force feed the skin water. We're going to use a hydrating serum. Put that on and, get it into the skin, because the next step that you're going to do is you're going to put a hydrating mask on. And the hydrating mask will be either like a sheet mask that has like either a gel-like substance or like a serum-like substance where it's kind of maybe a little watery or something. You could use a cream one, but those are more for conditioning the skin. I highly suggest you use more of a gel or serum-like sheet mask. Or if you happen to have a gel mask that maybe you can squeeze out of a bottle and just put on your skin or something, that would be good too. You also want to keep the skin warm. Using a facial steamer to just lightly keep your skin warm and deposit that water on would be great. The reason for that is that's how you're also going to keep this mask active, especially if it's not a sheet. So with the sheet mask, the reason why the sheet masks work pretty well is because that sheet kind of helps and works as a barrier from the skin and the air. And the air is going to be the thing that kind of dries it up. So that kind of helps from the mask, the stuff that you're putting into your skin, from drying up. So that's beneficial. But I also think that keeping the skin warm will be very beneficial because that'll keep your skin softer and be more susceptible to penetrating that product in. And we're going to be force feeding your skin with the hydrating serum and whatever's in the mask. That is going to be the best way to do it. We're occluding the skin in order to force feed the skin. This is one way of making it very effective, because what happens sometimes once we put on a product, it can immediately start to kind of evaporate or go out a little bit. So one way to really trap it in is to occlude it. I will also have a video for you to watch that I did do over a facial sheet masks that I really like, and I use about almost every single day to really keep my skin hydrated in this dry climate. And I will tell you, there's a huge difference from when I can tell my skin is dehydrated to the time it is hydrated, and it is such a difference. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is use moisturizer. If you hadn't seen some of my other recent video that I think I'll post before this one. If not, it'll be next time. But a moisturizer is made to actually help lock in moisture. So now that we just put in moisture into the skin, we want to occlude that with a moisturizer. A moisturizer is not designed to moisturize your skin. It's helped to lock in that moisture by using an occlusion, by keeping it there and really trying to kind of just keep it there, really. Using a really good, high quality moisturizer for yourself is definitely a huge benefit. The next thing I'm gonna want you to do is use a face oil or skin oil or something like that. The reason for that is it's gonna be like an extra protection as an occlusion. Since water and oil don't mix, we're gonna put on an oil layer in order to kind of just help reestablish an occlusion. With that oil being on top of your skin, chances of that water escaping is far less likely to have happen. So I want you to also use a face oil. You will see a difference when you wake up in the morning, and even right after. I should say even right after. It's not even in the next morning. It's like you're gonna notice after doing all this, like, wow, yeah, it is a little bit nicer, Now, if you do that again tomorrow, it's gonna be even better. Now, the only thing I'm gonna say is you're not gonna use that exfoliator more than once maybe twice depending on your skin type and what's going on. I would say people who could use it maybe twice would be someone with oily skin type, but that's something you really need to kind of judge on your own. So you would skip the exfoliation until next week, but definitely do all the other steps that I mentioned. That's going to help you hydrate your skin, and while you kind of compile it within a few days, you're going to see a huge difference, and you're going to notice how desperate your skin was in order to have that hydration. And you're gonna notice your skin works differently. It has more of a bounce to it, it has more of a spring. It will absorb and penetrate product a lot better. It will use that water in your skin in order to help penetrate and flow that product into the skin even better with all your other products that you might have. And it will just, you're just gonna see more of a glow and everything, and you're gonna be well exfoliated. You're gonna feel and notice that it is completely, your skin is like a different person, if you will, than what it was, because it got what it needed. Hydration is a huge thing that most people don't realize that they really need. Even if they think their skin is fine, you could probably use a hydrating mask a few times a month, if not a few times, maybe a week. So definitely, I'm hopefully you try this and you will see a difference. Definitely mention in the comments what your effects that you got from it and how you felt about it and how it went for you, because I really would like to hear definitely some good results from you. So thanks again for seeing me here at Contour Image. This is a way to quickly hydrate your skin overnight. And thank you for watching, and just remember to stay beautiful for life.